What's going on, guys? This is Mikeinoid, and today we are going to talk about Skylanders Trap Team. So just to recap, this year I'm going back and playing all of the Skylander games and talking about them. We covered Spyro's Adventure in March, Giants in April, and Swap Force last month. So this month we are focused on the fourth game in the franchise, Skylanders Trap Team. Before we continue, I just have to let everybody know that from this point on, I'll be talking about Skylander games that I wasn't able to get a very close to complete collection. So just know that I am missing some Skylanders. So when I show off Skylanders and you see something missing, that's why. I never got every single Skylander from the last 3 games. So how well did Swap Force do in terms of sales? It actually did pretty good, which is not surprising at all. By mid-year of 2014, the game managed to sell 3.9 million copies. And as impressive as that is, Swap Force sold the most on the Wii at 1.6 million copies. That's actually pretty crazy since the game looks horrendous on that console. But yeah, the Skylanders franchise at this point was over $2 billion in sales and sold 175 million toys. So how does Activision and Toys for Bob continue to make more money? Yep, release another game. Skylanders Trap Team, which went back to being developed by Toys for Bob, not only brings toys to life, but also brings life to toys using the all-new plastic crystals, traps. The concept of traps is that once you defeat certain villains in the game, you are able to insert a trap into the Traptanium Portal, where that villain will be saved onto the trap, and you can play as that villain alongside your Skylander. And this game's $15 Skylanders are the Trap Masters. The Trap Masters are about the same size as Giant and Swap Force figures, but what makes them unique are the Traptanium weapon each one is equipped with. So before we talk about the other figures, I just have to say this, Trap Team had probably the weirdest rosters of all the Skylander games. For some reason, they decided to have only 5 returning Skylanders, which means 5 elements got 7 Skylanders and 3 elements only got 6. Okay, hold on. We're not going to talk about those just yet. Those 5 returning Skylanders featured 2 Series 2 figures, 2 Series 3 figures, and 1 Series 4 figure. Congrats to Gilgrunt for being the only Series 4 figure ever. We got 16 new core Skylanders as well, and we got probably one of my favorite things about this game, the mini Skylanders. So I'm sure you guys remember the sidekicks from Spyro's Adventure and Giants that you can get from the Frito-Lay party bags, right? Well, we got re-releases of those 8 figures, plus 8 new additions, and instead of just following you around, they are now actual Skylanders. I thought these were actually pretty cool. They were a lot smaller than regular Skylanders, which made them easier to carry, and they were a fun new way to play as the older Skylanders. And if you happen to have one of those original 8 sidekick figures, they will also work as full-blown Skylanders. Another way Activision brought new life to these old characters was re-releasing 8 Spyro Adventure figures, the Eon's Elite figures. These babies are the ultimate collector's figures. The Skylanders have a very nice metallic paint job, come inside a display case with a holographic background and a sticky base that keeps the figures in place, all kept together in some really cool packaging. And these Skylanders aren't just for looks, their stats are 3 times more powerful than standard Skylanders, making them the most powerful Skylanders you can use. These figures cost $25 when they first released, but there was no way I was spending that much. I managed to get almost all the Eon's Elite figures for $10 each during a Black Friday deal at GameStop, which is why some of them have the annoying GameStop sticker on them. God damn. Trap Team had a lot of firsts. The first time for Eon's Elite, first time to make sidekicks fully playable, first time to spend hundreds of dollars. Well, actually that's always been the case for all these games. But probably the biggest first is the 2 brand new elements, the light and dark elements. I hate these elements. Activision and Toys for Bob kept these elements a secret when they announced Trap Team, even after the game was released. The game had these elemental gates that had a question mark on them, and some villains were not trappable with any traps from the original 8 elements. Oh my god, I wonder what elements they were! Well, if you wanted to get a sneak peek, boo-boo, you just need Hood Sickle to get you in. Wouldn't you look at that? Not only can we see it's the dark element, but we get a soul gem of a new Skylander. Way to keep these elements a secret secret Activision. For the light and dark elements, they released one Trap Master and one Core Dragon Skylander for each. You can get the Trap Masters in their respective adventure packs with a Trap and the Core Skylanders on eBay for 7 times the price. Yeah, they did not release a bunch of toys from these two elements, which is why prices for either of the Skylanders or Traps are pretty expensive. So when you calculate the total number of Skylanders, at least the ones on the poster, there are 57 in total. And then when you add up the 8 Eons Elite and the 15 in-game variant figures, there are 80 Skylanders to collect. And if you think that's a lot, we have to add up the different trap variations that you can get, which adds up to 60 traps. If you count the 3 legendary traps and the Easter Bunny trap, and add up the 4 adventure pack figures, plus the 4 magic items. Oh yeah, we can't forget about the legendary variant of the Hand of Fate. The grand total comes out to 149 figures. That's a lot of figures, man. While I do like the trap gimmick a lot, I felt pretty burned out at this point. There were just too many toys to buy for one game, and I feel like parents felt the same way as well. I mean, at this point, you have Disney Infinity releasing Marvel figures, and Nintendo has stepped up into the arena with Amiibo. The Toys to Life market is beginning to run a bit thin. But let's just assume you chose to buy a blue crocodile and artichoke over Spider-Man and Mario. What starter packs were available? Skylanders Trap Team released on the Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4, Wii U, and 3DS. And the Wii again. It's 2014 and they're still putting Skylander games on the Wii. There's 2 reasons why I felt like that happened. One, the Wii U, as we all know, didn't sell too well in its lifetime. People thought that the Wii U was just an accessory for the Wii rather than a brand new console. So that left a lot of people sticking with the Wii. And the second reason was how popular Skylanders was on the Wii, since Swap Force did sell the most copies on that dust collector. Even though the game looks disgusting, I have to give it credit, it at least runs okay. Also, if you bought a Wii starter pack, you also get a download code for the Wii U version. I mean, I guess this was a way to get people to want to upgrade to the Wii U. The Wii version is playable on the Wii U, so if you own a Wii U, you can play both versions on your console. The standard starter pack contains the Skylanders Snapshot and Food Fight, a Water and Life Trap, the game, the poster, cards, stickers, the Traptanium Portal, and the Trap Tray. The Traptanium Portal, yes, another brand new portal, is my favorite portal in the Skylander series. You have a cool color shifting ring around the base, and the villain vault at the front where the villain you have trapped can talk to you.
Your health is low, Skylander, and you have a queen at the ready. Need I say more? That was truly a golden era, and now I must rest.
This place is pretty cool. I mean, it's all dark and stuff, and there's nothing in here. Wait a minute. It's not cool at all.
This feature might annoy some people, so it's a good idea that you can turn off the audio in the settings. The trap tray is a piece of cardboard with holes where you can keep all of your traps. I really like how this was included with the starter pack. My only gripe with the trap tray is that over time they will start to bend after pushing down the traps multiple times. I just ended up taping another piece of cardboard underneath and cut some holes into it so it would have some extra support. Of course, they brought back the Dark Edition starter packs for the consoles. These contain dark versions of Snapshot, Food Fight, and Wildfire, a double-sided poster, and 3 traps, one of them being the ultimate Kaos trap. This starter pack was a way to play Kaos as quickly as possible, since the standard Kaos trap came out a bit later. And finally, we have to talk about the tablet version starter pack. You get pretty much everything like in the standard starter pack, however you get the Bluetooth portal and controller. As the name suggests, the tablet starter pack was meant for tablet users to play the full Trap Team game, either with the controller or touchscreen controls. With the portal, you can use Skylanders and traps like the console versions, or when you take the game on the go without the portal, you can use the instant snapshot. The controller that comes with the starter pack can be housed in the portal, and it's actually quite comfy. It's definitely a bit small for my likings, but I can use it for a good amount of time. As you can see, they base the controller on the Xbox's controller, not only because you need to use batteries, but also they have the same layout, which is cool. I just want to know something. Why did they include the right analog stick? I'm pretty sure we just smashed a primary button to open hats and chests, so we never used the right stick. Now you might be thinking, it's so you can use the controller in all the games, dum-dums. But here's the thing, you can't use the controller or portal outside the game. You can only use it in Trap Team. I mean, Activision made it possible to use other Bluetooth controllers in the game, yet you couldn't use the one that came in the starter pack outside of the game. Speaking of the app, Activision shut down the server, so you can't even play the game anymore. It's a shame, man. Like, these portals and controllers are great, but now they're reduced to bricks. Thankfully, if you want to play the full game portably, you can use remote play on the PS4 and play on your phone using a PS4 controller or the PlayStation Vita. So I think we covered all the starter packs. Let's talk about the game. Same deal with the other games, you can choose your difficulty from easy, medium, and hard, and if you beat the game, you unlock Nightmare Mode. Now going through the levels, Nightmare Mode isn't that bad. You can switch to your villain when it's starting to look dire for your Skylander. I mean, just let it eat up some hits and take out the baddies. You're pretty much good. You just need to find some food, or you can use Broccoli Guy to heal up your Skylander. But once you get to the boss fight, Nightmare Mode shows its true colors.
Nice. You lack of the heat. Hot smash.
Yeah, Kaos killed all of my trap masters in that fight. The story of the game is that Kaos blows up the Cloud Cracker prison, which holds the villains you need to capture, including the Doom Raiders. Oh, by the way, this explosion also caused the light and dark elements to be released from Skylands. Like that makes sense. Kaos was hoping that the Doom Raiders would work for him, however, they turned on him, so Kaos decides to help you catch all the Doom Raiders, and once you do that, he takes over the Doom Raiders' plan using the ultimate weapon that ran on Traptanium and cheese. Anyways, you still have Flynn, and they brought back Callie and Persephone and introduced Buzz and Mags. Man, I personally don't like Buzz or Mags. I find them pretty annoying, but you know what? I feel like that's just me. The villains are the real stars of this game though, especially the Doom Raiders. Except the Gulper, I couldn't give a about him. The Doom Raiders felt like bad dudes. Some of them clashed with each other like Wolfgang and Golden Queen. Even when they realized they were getting picked off, you can feel the tension build, and Wolfgang goes into the future and said, "F this, there ain't no Skylanders in the future." That's where you're wrong, kiddo. God damn it. The main hub of this game is the Skylanders Academy. I personally think this is one of the weaker hubs of the series. Don't get me wrong, I like the fact that you can explore and find hidden areas, but Skylanders just move so damn slow in this game. I mean, it's just awful to get from point A to point B, you know? You can upgrade your Skylander, you can access the villain vault to change out villains in your traps, you have shops and access to the Skeleton Showdown mode. This mode is stupid easy, even on expert mode, and I didn't find it all that fun, to be honest with you. In total, there are 18 chapters, each with villains to capture, and they're about 40 minutes long if you were trying to fully explore everything. There aren't any checkpoints like there were in Swap Force, but you can still upgrade your Skylander by finding Persephone about midway through the level. You can unlock 4 additional levels with the game's brand new adventure packs, which also had villains to capture, which meant you weren't going to be able to capture all the villains without these adventure packs. Isn't that nice? I mean, before it was cool that the adventure packs were optional. You didn't really need to buy these to enjoy the game, but since Trap Team is focused on capturing baddies, you're not even getting that full experience since 6 villains are locked behind these expansion packs. I think what's worse is that the fact that they put the Chompy in the Mirror of Mystery expansion level, which is probably a villain people would really want to play as. Some of the things you can find within the levels are hats, chests, soul gems, story scrolls, legendary treasures, and the winged sapphires. Legendary treasures are used to upgrade the academy, sometimes just for decorating or adding a whole other area. The Portal Master rank makes a return. You increase your rank by getting stars, and you get cool stuff like experience, hats, and trinkets. Trinkets are pretty much like hats, except they are equipped on a Skylander somewhere besides the top of their head. Just like hats, I didn't use trinkets, but they add buffs to your Skylander as well. well, so that's cool. The game looks good. It pretty much looks like Giants, but more HD. Just like Swap Force, you can jump in this game, but it's really rough looking. It's like the game is trying to catch up with the Skylanders, so the game does this jolt every time you jump to a higher platform. Of course, you have your jump pads and push blocks throughout the levels. They brought back the Gremlin puzzle, but now he has a jetpack. Yeah, I think I'll skip these. They brought back Skystones, now called Skystone Smash, with updated rules. Yeah, I'll skip that too. You also have these troll radios in each level that can get you gold from where you can switch to the right channel. You also have villain chests that only villains can open to get even more gold. And finally, you have the Traptanium Gates and Traptanium Crystals that only Trap Masters can interact with. It's like the feat of strength from Giants, but with the Trap Masters. But did they really have to make elemental gates exclusive to Trap Masters? Activision really got mad whenever they realized that people can just use their old Skylanders to unlock elemental gates in the new game, so they wanted to make sure you would at least buy one Trap Master of every element if you wanted to open these gates. Alongside doing more damage to trappable villains, Trap Masters are overpowered, while core Skylanders feel weak and have no purpose in this game. It's honestly kinda sad, especially when you consider the fact that Trap Team is the last time we would see core Skylanders. We've talked about the villains so far. I mean, they are easily the best part of Trap Team. Like I said, you have 46 different villains you can trap and play as, and instead of health, they have a timer on them, and when the timer runs out, they will just go back into the trap. You have to wait for the timer to replenish, and then you can play as that villain again. And all the villains have their own different movesets and personalities. Most of the villains are minions that you fight throughout the game. It just so happens that the one you catch is special or something. Like, what exactly makes this Cross Crow different from the other Cross Crows you fight? Thankfully, we do have big boss villains to catch, which are the Doom Raiders and Kaos. These villains have 3 attacks rather than 2 and are much stronger than the regular villains. But regardless of villain class, all villains have a special quest in the levels that allow you to make them stronger and change their color. Some quests are pretty simple. You just need them to show up in front of the person who needs them and they get the upgrade. But there are times where it takes you out of the level, makes you wait at a loading screen, and do these tedious mini games. Listen, Swap Force got criticized for doing this with swap zones, but at least they didn't make you sit at a loading screen, and those games were somewhat enjoyable. Here they're too long and boring, especially the Brawl and Chain quest. Finally! I just wanted to point out that if you have one of the traps that have an in-game color variant villain, doing the quest will evolve the villain. However, the color won't change, so you can still enjoy the color difference. Like I mentioned before, you are able to catch a villain after defeating it using the correct elemental trap, and there are 60 to choose from. Bro, can someone explain to me why we need 6 magic traps? There are only 3 villains for this element. I guess it's cool that we have options, but still, like, why would they only make 3 traps for light and dark when there are 4 villains in each? This makes no damn sense. Arena challenges are back, and hey, they even feature Brock again. And they even have a new mode called Chaos Doom Challenge. It's basically a tower defense minigame where you can build towers and try to stop enemies before they try to destroy a box that contains a dripped out enemy. This mode is pretty fun. It's pretty much impossible to stop an enemy destroying a box in Nightmare mode though.
The mystery box of doom is under attack.
Okay, that's like the 5th time they freed him, man. Come on. 2 players can still play together in the story, arena challenges, and the Chaos Doom Challenge. It just honestly sucks that they got rid of the mode where you can fight each other. I felt like this was a staple of the games. Being able to see which Skylanders were better in 1v1 competition, it was definitely a dumb move to take this away. Okay, look, I have to bring this up eventually because it's really hard to overlook when you play Trap Team. This game is filled with bugs. As much as I appreciated Hood Sickle's ability to find a way to go into the Dark Gate, I don't think it was intended. Besides, that's one of the harmless bugs. During my playthrough, I encountered multiple bugs, even ones that prevented me from beating levels. What the hell? Why didn't I level up? Alright, fool, I almost got you. Yo! Come down already, man. What? Wait, is he stuck? Hurry up, dude. Quit playing, bro. Please come down. Well, this sucks. Did she really just disappear? Games sometimes have bugs in them, and that's fine. But the amount of game-breaking bugs in Trap Team is ridiculous. Toys for Bob really should have fixed these bugs before putting out this game. How do they miss these bugs when testing this game? I don't understand. I don't know, I want to say that maybe this game is so glitchy because it needed to be on the Wii as well, so they just didn't have time to polish the game. But still, this was definitely hard to play sometimes. So Skylanders can still reach up to level 20, you can equip hats and trinkets, look at their stats and toy code, give them nicknames, and change ownership in the Skylanders menu. Also, you're able to equip hats and trinkets to villains and give them nicknames as well. They got rid of quests from Giants and Swap Force, which kind of sucks, though I didn't really miss it that much. And finally, the soul gems you find in the game are for the Trap Masters and the new core Skylanders. Skylanders from Trap Team all have a red base at the bottom of the figure, and Eon's Elite figures have a clear base. All Skylanders from Spiral's Adventure, Giants, and Swap Force, alongside magic items, work in Trap Team. Even though I didn't get the full roster of Skylanders from Trap Team, I did get a good amount, and I definitely have some favorites. Gearshift had a cool moveset. You can use your giant gear in different ways to better suit yourself in enemy scenarios. Enigma is probably the coolest looking Skylander. Half his body is translucent and looks mysterious. Nightlight is able to quickly attack with sword slashes and does powerful light attacks. Plus he can fly and it doesn't take up a move slot. Blades is pretty cool. You can shoot out blades and send them flying at enemies with his tornado and wing attacks. His legendary variant looks great as well. Deja Vu is a very unique Skylander. She can summon her past self that follows you around and deals damage, and she also has a legendary variant that looks great. And then Tidal Wave Gilgrunt's Wow Pout is just too badass. So we gotta talk about the 3DS version of Trap Team. I was actually looking forward to the 3DS version. Since we were getting the Kaos trap, it meant that they were getting Kaos in the 3DS version for the first time. Since they've done a pretty good job with making the toys compatible in the 3DS version, well, I was wrong because traps aren't usable on the 3DS version. The starter pack comes with Gusto and Barkley, with the Giants version of the Portal of Power, and even the poster that comes with it doesn't have the villains on it. So the 3DS version gets its own villains, a total of 14, with the main villain being Dreamsheep, and you trap them using the bottom half of the 3DS screen. These villains were not memorable at all, and their goofy names didn't help them one bit. And what makes them worse is that you don't even get to play as them. They just do a generic super attack and then they go back to the screen to recharge. On a positive note, if you went for the 3DS version, then you were going to save money because you didn't need the traps, but you were definitely losing out on what made Trap Team special. The platforming is just about the same. The adventure packs aren't like the traditional levels, they're more like challenges. Overall, I think this is my least favorite 3DS Skylander game, and you have Boris Blisterbottom and Russell Purple Stash to blame for that. I enjoyed Skylanders Trap Team when I first picked it up in 2014, and I still got enjoyment out of it replaying the game today. Being able to trap and play as villains is what makes the game a lot of fun. However, what holds this game back for me are the fact that Skylanders move like snails, core Skylanders are an afterthought, and the game is a buggy mess. If the game didn't have those issues, I probably would have liked Trap Team even more than Swap Force. There's a bit of post-game content after you beat the game. You get access to the 4th star you can earn from completing more dares, but that's about it. If you want to get all 4 stars in each level, you're going to need at least 1 trap master from each of the 10 elements, and at least 1 trap of each element so you can be able to do the villain quest. Well, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know which Skylander from Skylanders Trap Team is your favorite down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and of course, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Boris Blisterbottom. That's the name of an actual villain in Skylanders. Okay. Alright, that's cool.